Hey everyone, it's Gabriel here again, and in this video I want to talk about this trend that I've been seeing again on social media about running multiple businesses. And I think it looks really cool. When I first started out into entrepreneurship, I thought that in order for you to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to have multiple businesses because that's what all of them do. It makes perfect sense when you have like 6, 7, 8 business under your belt, and then you can call yourself a serial entrepreneur, which sounds really cool. But it really doesn't mean anything. I've been seeing this trend coming up again and hearing people talking about how they own multiple businesses, and it's something that I used to do, but I stopped doing that. And I wouldn't recommend anybody to own or run any multiple businesses, especially if you're a startup. If you really want to grow a massive business, whether you're growing a business because you want a better lifestyle or whether you're growing a business because you want to change the world, I really truly believe that in order for you to grow something really big or something that gives you, or maybe if you're trying to have a lifestyle, then you need something that gives you maximum outcome with minimum input, then focusing on one business is definitely something that makes a lot more sense. So I want to share with you guys a very quick story why I decided to do this video. And what happened was that a friend of mine came to me very recently, and he wants me to be part of an NFT project. And like NFT is like the big thing right now. And it's actually not just any NFT project, because I've been seeing a lot of different people launching their NFT projects with no particular any uniqueness about that project, but yet those projects are able to do 6, 7 figures. And so what happened was that there was this friend of mine who approached me, and I'm not supposed to review too much detail, so I'll just keep it as vague as possible. So it was for a big company who produce a collectible item, and is quite a well-known company. So something like a bear brick. What we wanted to do was to create an NFT that each NFT is tagged towards that collectible item. But it's not just that, because that company is very well known or very well associated with the fashion world. And so what they do is that, of course now it's COVID, but pre-COVID, what they do is that occasionally they will have events, a few events a year, where it's a fashion event. And if you're associated with them, you get to attend this fashion event and you get to rub shoulders with celebrities. And so this was one of the highlight about this NFT, where it's not just a collectible, where it actually increases in value. But the second thing is that when you have this NFT, you're part of this fashion club and you get to rub shoulders with big celebrities, especially when you go to events and all that. And here's the thing, right? People are willing to pay big bucks just to be able to take a selfie with celebrities so they can use the pictures for something else. I don't know what else, but it could be getting a celebrity to endorse their business, and therefore they're willing to pay a huge amount of money for it because it increases the value of a perceived value of whatever they're trying to sell. So just by paying for a membership to rub shoulders with celebrities is something that's already valuable. But this is an NFT that is a collectible item that is tagged to a physical collectible item that you can actually sell it in the future, and it actually increases in value. So it sounds like a really good deal, sounds like a really good opportunity, and I easily think that this is easily a 7 to even 8 figure opportunity, but I said no. Okay, I said no. And that brings me back to my point today. I said no because I realized that the amount of time that is needed for me to be part of this project. They wanted me to be the head of marketing, to be able to do all the marketing for them. And as much as I think it's a pretty easy 7 to 8 figure deal, I said no, because it doesn't compound or it doesn't add any value to my current business. And what it will do is to take away time and attention from my current business. And so that's what I want to talk about today, right? Owning multiple businesses will take attention away from the main business that you're trying to do. And while that it sounds cool to own multiple businesses or different businesses, and I've been seeing a lot of people boasting on social media, and it is possible that you could own multiple 6, 7 figure business. And that was me. When I first started out, I was trying to own multiple businesses, and I managed to build a few 6 figure businesses. Like one, maybe one 7 figure, a few 6 figure businesses. And it was, pretty cool, but it kept me at a level that I couldn't go to an 8 figure or a 9 figure mark. It was only until I decided to drop all the other businesses and just focus on the winner, then I had a breakthrough. And the breakthrough was not only building an 8 figure business, but recently we started, I decided to drop everything again, and I just decided to start a software company. And within just 3 months of starting a software company, because I decided to drop everything and just focus all my efforts on this software company that I'm building, In just a short 3-month period, we were able to build a annual recurring revenue of about $500,000 right now. In just short 3 months. Annual recurring revenue. So these are recurring revenue. It's not just one-time revenue. And with our annual recurring revenue, if you just put a multiplier of 3x or 5x, and some software companies does a 10x multiplier, that's potentially a $1.5 million business or $2.5 million business. And if you do a 10x multiplier on it, then that will be a $5 million business in just a short 3 months, because we were willing to give up everything else and say no to everything else and just focus on one thing that is really solid. So once again, owning multiple businesses may sound cool. You may own 4, 7-figure, 6-figure business, but if you actually combine all the effort and time of these 4 companies into one, it is much more easier for you to hit the 8, 9-figure or even a $1 billion company with the same effort that it takes for you to run 4 companies. And here's why. See, when you run multiple businesses, unless you have millions of dollars of funding where you can hire CEOs and head of whoever to run this company, usually if you are a startup, you are the CEO. And if you are trying to build multiple companies at one go, you are basically a CEO of multiple companies. And that's essentially saying that you are the captain of multiple ships, because you have no money to hire other captains. And assuming, again, that you have 4 businesses, this also means that you have to split your attention and your time equally to these 4 businesses instead of just one. And that's, spending 25% of your attention on each business instead of 100%. And in terms of being in the market and being competitive in the market, it's much harder for you to win the competition, because your competition, all right, the other CEO of another company, your competitors, could be spending 100% on their business. So how do you compete against a business with a CEO that's putting 100% and you're only putting 25%? In fact, let's break it down to something that we can measure. Let's say you want to work 50 hours a week, and that's pretty much an average work time of a 9-to-5 job. If you want to work 50 hours a week and run 4 businesses and have some kind of balanced lifestyle where you still have time for yourself or your family, that means that you can only spend about 12.5 hours each week for each business. So the question is, how are you going to build a massively successful business with only 12.5 hours a week? But now you have to build 4. So again, every time I share this, there will always be exception, right? There's always, in fact, the reason why this whole, I think that the reason why this whole multiple business trend is starting to come up again is because of people like Elon Musk. He is the CEO of multiple billion-dollar companies. In fact, Tesla just reached $1 trillion. So it's the CEO of a $1 trillion company and multi-billion-dollar companies. But Elon Musk is a rare exception. We can never live our life based on a few rare exceptions. And if you really just take a look at his life, you just zero in and zoom in into his work day, his daily life. This guy works 100 hours a week. I mean, just think about it. He admitted in his interview before that he works between 90 hours to 100 hours a week. If you break down 100 hours a week, that's about 14 hours a day without taking any off on weekends. So that's 7 days, 14 hours every single day. That's 100 hours a week. Now, I don't know about you, but not everyone is Elon Musk. Not everyone has that calling to change the world. But here's the thing. I believe in this guy. 80% of my wealth is invested in Tesla. Okay, and that's doing pretty well for me recently. But that guy has no life. Like I would invest in Tesla. I would invest in anything that Elon Musk is doing. But I wouldn't want to exchange my life with him, because he has no life. He works 14 hours a day. He has 3 divorces. And he himself said that it's not fun to be him. But he has a mission. Elon Musk wants to change the world. I honestly just want to change my family. So it's different objective, different outcome. So don't always compare yourself with people like Elon. In fact, the first ever start of someone who became a multiple CEO of a few companies, the start of the era actually started from Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs was the founder of Apple, and then he was ousted as a CEO, and then he went to buy and head Pixar. And then he was invited back as a CEO of Apple. So there was actually a period of time that for 1 year, he was the captain of Pixar and Apple, just for 1 year. So if you go and search on one of the interviews, he actually said that this 1 year was rough, really rough, one of the worst period of my life. So I don't know about you, but if Steve Jobs is running 2 companies and he himself said that it's rough and one of the worst period of his life, I think there's something that we can learn from that. So only when you put 100% focus on one business, it is much more likely that that business will be able to compound, because your work, your efforts will compound. There is a power of compound interest in money, but there's also a power of compound interest in time. Every time you put in time and attention into your business, there's a return on the time and attention. And when you put more time and attention into the same business, it compounds and it snowballs, and it can grow exponentially. Now, there are some rare exceptions for this. So today, I've learned this lesson, and I've learned to say no, and I think that's one of the hardest things for entrepreneur to do, because as an entrepreneur, I think at the beginning, you usually have not enough opportunities. So you want to say yes to as many as possible. But you reach a stage, you reach a point in your life and your business where you realize that there's too much opportunity, and now it's important for you to start learning how to say no instead of saying yes to everything. Because every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something because you have limited time. So today, what's important to me is not just my business, but also my family life, because I value time with my family, I value time with my wife, I value time with my daughter. And so when I say yes to all these opportunities, if I say yes to this NFT, it's not saying that I can't do it, right? I'm already spending about 8 hours on my business. I could say yes to this NFT deal and maybe spend 4 hours there. Now, that would mean that I will take 4 hours away from my family. And at this point in my life, I don't need the extra money and missed out on my daughter's growth, for example. And at the end of the day, it's really what you want. But there are some rare exceptions to this. So I will still do multiple businesses if these different businesses can help each other grow exponentially. It means there is a direct relation with each other, and it can help each other grow exponentially. So for example, I run a software company right now, but we also have an agency, and we kind of see it as one, because the agency fuels the growth for the software. Because as a software company, what we do is that we sell a marketing tool. With a marketing tool, we need to advertise this software. We need to build multiple, sales funnels and all that, to promote this software. And that's something that our agency has been doing for our clients. And when our clients engage us as our agency, we use the same software that we are selling right now for our agency clients. So there's a direct synergy there. When the software does well, our agency business will grow. And when our agency business grow, when we help our clients get more results, it actually further fuels the growth of our software. So only when there is direct relationship and synergy. And also the shared resources, that because these two businesses are so similar that we can literally share resources with each other. And so, at times when we are building funnels for our software company, we can just simply use our resources in our agency to build the marketing campaigns that we need to promote the software. And vice versa, right? Like I mentioned earlier, when our agency clients, when we take on agency clients, we'll use the software that we have built to create those sales funnels and campaigns for our clients. So this way, there's a certain synergy. So it's not as if that I'm running two different businesses. These two businesses kind of runs together. And this is the reason why if you look at some of the bigger companies, they always do a lot of merger, acquisition. And the reason why, for example, Facebook were willing to pay $1 billion to acquire Instagram, right? I mean, in a way, they're two different businesses, but they're kind of in the same space because they're both in social media. And when these two companies merge, or when these two companies comes together, both value of the company will grow because they are able to share resources with each other. So for example, when Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion, I think Facebook revenue back then was maybe like $10 billion, because by buying Instagram, they will have another ad product that they could sell, right? Because Facebook's Facebook revenue mainly come from selling ads. Ads is their product. And if they can sell ads on Facebook, they can sell ads on Instagram. They're basically bringing in another source of ad revenue. And if back then their revenue was about $10 billion, if just by adding Instagram, they can grow their revenue by a 10% a year, that's $1 billion a year, which makes a lot of sense for them to spend $1 billion to acquire Instagram, so that it will actually increase their revenue by another 10%, which is $1 billion. And $1 billion a year revenue equates to maybe $10 billion in valuation. And so only in this situation, Instagram can now merge with Facebook's ecosystem, and Instagram is able to use the resources that Facebook have, such as the software engineer. And whenever Facebook is creating a feature, they're not just creating a feature, like for example, when they first created Story, they're not just creating a feature just for one platform. They're creating a feature, but that feature can be used on Instagram, on Facebook, on WhatsApp. Every time they create a new feature, they are able to multiply this feature's value into multiple platforms. So I hope that makes sense, right? So only if the different business has direct synergy and can help each other's value grow exponentially, then only it makes sense for you to own multiple business. But what I'm seeing right now is someone has an agency business, I don't know, maybe a social media Instagram agency business, and then they have a food business, and then they have another, I don't know, cannabis CBD business, and so it's just kind of like all over the place, and there's no direct synergy. And they're doing it because it looks cool, because I own multiple businesses, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I hope this video has been of value to you. This is just a very short rant. something that I'm seeing very growing and growing trend in social media, and something that I think that I would have done differently because it is a mistake that I've made. And hopefully this video will help those of you here who are running business and thinking about starting a second business, thinking about starting a third business, to really think twice when you are offered opportunities, right? Learn to say no, because when saying yes to something, you're saying no to other things. And if you really just compound into one business, if you just laser focus in one business, you can probably grow that business 5 times, 10 times bigger with the same effort that you need to run multiple businesses. So let me know in the comment section what's your biggest takeaway and what's most valuable to you from this short sharing. And remember to like and subscribe to this channel, as it will help this channel grow and allow this video to reach out to more people and prevent them from making the same mistakes of owning multiple businesses just for the fact of looking cool. So that's all I have for you today. Bye for now.